Alright everyone, the good people over at Toy Monster were kind enough to send me the brand new Captivz line, and of course we have already reviewed these. You can tell I'm doubled up on each creature, so I figured this time to make things different we'd do a mutants versus hybrids line. So of course, you know, we've got our two mutant T Rex and Mutadon, and then we've got all the brand new hybrids, and I did say we would compare the new Captivz in a video to some of the other toys, so I figured we'd do that in this video. But yes, of course, now I've got 4 Mutadons, so we can take a look at all of them. They're super awesome. Yeah, I really love the walking Mutadon especially. And now that I have 2 of each, it's just great because, you know, if I want to have them flying, recreating that, they're both flying at the same time, I can do that. Or if I want them both walking, like they were mainly in the movie, they didn't really fly much in the movie, I can just have 2 walking Mutadons. So that is really, really awesome. And then, of course, T Rex, you know, so it's interesting. This is the rebirth T Rex, but this is the survival one. They've changed it up a tad bit. You can see the front part here doesn't really have the paint, but the new T Rex does have that brown paint, so that's really cool. And of course, these silver ones and fluffy ones are all from the rebirth line, which is still out in stores now. I believe you can get them. I have seen them around. So yeah, and of course, we do have, you know, this T Rex, and what was it, pop vinyl T Rex. So with the pop vinyl T Rex, I feel like the Mutadons go pretty good with its size, so that is very, very awesome. Have a look at that. Yeah, that I feel like they're pretty, not super accurately sized, but that T Rex, and I'm sure hopefully more T Rexes within that size range to come. And then of course we got the minis one. I do really love the Captivz T Rex. It was one of my first T Rexes to start me off. So yeah, and that just fed the addiction, you know. That's why I've got so many of them. How many T Rexes is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Captivz T Rexes. That is absolutely insane. And then of course, let's move on to the hybrids now that we've looked at the mutants, even though I do know the mutants are hybrids if I haven't said it already, but just to check, because I know some people go off in the comments like, the mutants are hybrids. I know, guys, I just wanted to make a video. But here's Mutant Therizinosaurus. Now of course, this is a very unique figure. We haven't gotten any hybrid Mutant Therizinosauruses before, but something Captivz didn't make were these game exclusive hybrids, which I just thought I'd show. You know, the Ankylodocus, Spinoraptor, and Carnoraptor. You know, considering we don't have any versions of Mutant Therizinosaurus, we don't have any of these, figured I'd show them at the same time. So yeah, those are those hybrids. But then the rest of the hybrids that appear elsewhere, we've got our Scorpios Rex up now. I love the Scorpios Rex so much. I don't know if it's my favorite Captivz. I'd say my favorite of this line is definitely somewhere along the lines of, you know, the Spinoceratops or the walking Mutadon, or even the Aquilops up the back. I know it's not a hybrid, but I still really love it. It's the most accurate Aquilops I've got, probably next to my Mattel one. And yeah, it's just so awesome. It is really big, like that's a super big Aquilops, but I just love it for its accuracy. However, the Spinoceratopses, I know this is a Scorpios Rex segment, but I just want to say the Spinoceratopses are perfect size. These are just perfect for any character. So I 100% recommend picking up this line. Almost everything in this is like, you just need it. How can you skip out on it? But yeah, Scorpios Rex. This is my first time getting a small Scorpios Rex, because of course there was the cancelled mini Scorpios Rex, but that was pretty hard to come by considering you could only find prototypes of it. So thankfully Captivz have given us our first small Scorpios Rexes, as the only ones you could really get were the big Mattel ones. As you can see, the crazy size difference, and these ones didn't even have quills, but thankfully these Scorpios Rexes do have quills. So it's just awesome the amount of details they can put into such little figures. It's really, really awesome to see. Gotta love those quills. I wonder if that's like, considering we had the Venom jewel on the Hammond collection, is that meant to be like kind of poison, the little white bits on the quills? Something to think about. I'm not too sure, but still cool nonetheless. And then up next we have Indominus Rex. This was my first time getting a white Indominus Rex Captivz. I do have the black one, which I think is super awesome because there have been black Indominus Rexes in the game. But of course, I do have some other Indominus Rexes, and as you can see, the Captivz Indominus Rexes are just insanely detailed. Like, you know, just have a look at that. It's got the eyes, just the gray detail and everything. I really love the Captivz Indominus Rexes. Look at this, right? And then look how much detail they can put into such a small figure. It's genuinely just awesome. But yeah, I think the big Indominus Rex is the closest thing I have to compare in terms of how much detail a figure has next to them. And so it's just crazy how much details can go into these little figures. And then up next is the Indoraptor. And now I do actually have a minis Indoraptor now, which is cool. And as you can see, just Captivz is always just putting in as much effort as they can into all these little figures, like the eyeballs, the pupils. It doesn't have quills like the Scorpios Rex, unfortunately, but I do believe the Indoraptor is an older repurposed figure, so it makes sense, you know, to compare them all. So yeah, I just everything about these Captivz is just so awesome, man. Every single one in this line totally worth picking up. I know some you might pick up duplicates of, like I got multiple D-Rexes, but I got them because I wanted them, you know. I love the D-Rex and I can't get enough of it. And obviously it worked out for this video specifically because I needed that many D-Rexes to line up with, what was it? 12 mutants versus 12 Captivz hybrids, so it worked out perfectly. And then of course Stegoceratops, the most detailed Stegoceratops figure ever, considering we've only ever had the Hasbro one from nearly over 10 years ago. And but yeah, you can have them as little babies, and it's just so awesome to see. I really love how much detail they've put into these Stegoceratopses, and they've made it movie accurate as well, you know, the Mutadons parts and everything. It's genuinely just so awesome. And then of course, even though I spoke about them earlier, we've got to finish off with the Spinoceratopses. Now, I do believe they're meant to be angel, I think, maybe, because they've got a bit of a stubbier nose horn, and you know, they are more white. And then this one from the MGAE line is the Rebel, so it's perfect. And then of course, if I want them both in the same size, I've got the two Captivz now, so it works out amazingly. But yeah, this is their little Rebel twin and the two Spinoceratopses, but now I can have them as, you know, these twins. And then of course, you know, they're not hybrids, but I did get them again, so I may as well show them off, the limited edition Neons. Yeah, I hope you guys can pick up this line, because generally, if you saw my ranking video the other week, Captivz are my #1 favorite releases of this year, so definitely don't skip out on these. They're amazing, awesome, detailed, tiny figures, and I love them so much. Captivz, awesome stuff. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.